So last week we built this social media content factory which researches a specific topic. All you need to do is give a certain query and it researches that topic and publishes to different social media platforms. So this is one more strategy in addition to the research strategy. We repurpose the reels from our favorite creators in the same niche. We use different services to download these reels, transcribe it using OpenAI Whisper and creates new scripts. The chat review system then streamlines the process of reviewing the new repurposed content and collecting the Google Drive links for the videos that you create and publishes based on your content calendar. So here's a quick demo. So everything related to this video, all the resources are in our community, AI makers. We do have other AI agent builds that we have done in the past, POV history videos, SEO long form article generation, email personalization, and lead generation, cold email outreach using personalized emails, and an entire social media content factory system. This is an addition to it. There is human in the loop for obviously creating the video. All I have to do is give the handles of the creators that I like, and then it creates new repurposed scripts. I can then create a video using my chat review system. The chat review system takes those scripts periodically on a schedule, sends to my phone, and then I create the videos and submits to the chat review system. Then it is scheduled to be published to IG. You can also take the YouTube part from the main content factory system that I did. Also use the same videos to be published to YouTube here as well. The real repurpose system input, as I said, is a competition list, and then I use a service called Apify. We use this actor here, Instagram Reel Scraper. If you know nothing about Appify, that's fine. I will explain this in a second. The scraping from Appify will give you the video links, and then we will download the videos, and using OpenAI's Whisper, we will transcribe it, and then we provide an intent here. The intent is to build authority talking about AI tools and AI news. It will only repurpose those videos that align with our goal. Repurposes it and writes it to that Google Sheet. The review system then picks up this content and sends to me, and I approve it. Once it is approved, it sends to me the video to be filmed, and then I just simply reply to that using the Google Drive link to the video. The Google Drive link is then updated into your content calendar, and when the publishing cycle runs, that will be picked up and published to your IG. That's how the whole system works. Let me walk you through this in detail. Download the JSON. Let's create a new workflow here. Import from file. Select the JSON. Now we have the entire workflow there. Like I said, the starting point of this is a schedule trigger that runs on a schedule. You can change it. This is the node here and another trigger and on a schedule, and that will appear there. Let's say repurposing, rename that, and then we add a new Google Sheet node here. Google Sheet node is that one over there, and then you have to select get rows in sheet, and that will create a new Google Sheet node. In there you have to create a new credential for your Google Sheet account. You'll need to go through your Google Cloud Console to generate this client ID and client secret, which I have covered in my previous videos, or simply ask ChatGPT to summarize the steps and it will give you the details. Once that is done, you'll have to sign in with Google again. Once you connect it by clicking on connect, you are ready to go. And let me just test this step right now, and then you will see the handles are being retrieved from the content calendar. I'm reading from the second sheet here for competition reels to repurpose. You select from list and then select the Google Sheet and the sheet, the specific sheet that you want to read the data from. In our case, that is the second sheet, competition reels to repurpose. And once that is executed, you will get these handles. Next, you will have to add an HTTP request node. HTTP request node is this one here, and the URL will be the Apify actor URL. Apify is a scraping tool where you have tons of scrapers. TikTok data extractor, Amazon scraper, Google Maps extractor. We are going to use this specific actor here, Instagram Reel Scraper. So it's that one over there, and you will get $5 free when you sign up. You can experiment with that in that $5. Once you click on try it for free, you can see how to use this actor. So these are called actors. These are nothing but tasks that you run in the background. These are run on Appify's servers. If you click on API here and click on API API endpoints, it will give you all the endpoints that you can call in order to run that specific actor. You can also do this from the front end here. What it expects is an Instagram handle, and you can give the maximum reels per profile to retrieve. Once you run that, you will get all the, you can see I have run this in the past. For each run, you can, so once it runs it, you can get the reels, the text, this is the caption of the reel, and the author and their username, all sorts of stuff that you can get after scraping it. In our case, we are not going to use the front end for this. We are going to use the API. So once you create an Appify account, simply go to API tokens, click on manage tokens if you haven't created a token already. So in here, if you click on API reference for that particular runs this actor, running an actor, and you have a running an actor synchronously as well, which I don't prefer. I prefer the other one. Run synchronously means that we don't have to first issue the Appify run and then check, because sometimes the scraping takes a while. I don't necessarily want to do it synchronously. So we are going to use the asynchronous actor. So click on view API reference here and click on CLI, and then this is a curl command. Copy the whole thing. There is a small copy button here, and in your HTTP request, come here, you click on import curl and paste that command there, and then click on import. So that will be pre-filled for you. So you can see that the method is changed to post and the URL is filled in there. When you do that, the actor ID is a placeholder there. Get the actual endpoint by copying that and paste it there. If you want, you can give that token right there. That will also work, but I prefer to create a generic credential type. Then I select header auth. So similar to giving the header authorization bearer token here. So this I can store without exposing it on the front end. So I click on create new credentials. Name is authorization header authorization, and the is, let me show you, bearer, and then the token. We'll have to delete this token bit from here and make sure there's only one space and save that. Once that is saved, let's change the header account to test Appify account. Save that. So that's how you create the credentials. The next thing what you have to give is you need to enable the JSON raw parameters, and in the body parameters what you need to give there is the, after you click on try for free, once you come to this page, after you have put the parameters, you can click on this tab here called JSON. That will give you a JSON structure, which is results limit is this results limit, number of records to return on every run, and the username is the Instagram handle. So that's what you are passing here in the body parameters. And the JSON handle is really the handle from the previous Google Sheet node. That is this handle over here. If you see Robo Nuggets, and that is a dynamic parameter, and then we are passing to that. Before running that, let's pin this, so we don't want to run this again. We test this step, and now if you go back to the Instagram reel scraper, you can see that it has started to run. Not really sure why it started two of them. Maybe that's a Appify glitch. Now that is for, we have two handles here, Robo Nuggets and Sabrina. So that's why it creates two runs. So if you look here, we have two items that has gone through. The first one is Robo Nuggets. You can also see two items here. Let me just pin that here again so that when we run the workflow again, it uses the existing data and then doesn't issue a new scraping task. Because it is running asynchronously, which means that it starts the actor and then it comes back immediately. And then you have to check the status of the actor to see if it is finished or not. That is this node over here. This is another check run status. It's another HTTP node. When you run the first, it will give you an ID for the task that you created, and then you use that ID to check the status of the scrape. And that will look like when evaluated appify.com actor runs and the actor ID. If I test that, comes back ID and it must be completed or successful, the status will be succeeded. If for some reason it fails, it won't be succeeded. For testing purposes, we are only returning 5 per Instagram handle. But if you're scraping for hundreds of reels, this might take a while. That is why we have a wait node after that. This is simply a node called wait. There you can configure the wait amount and the unit. 5 seconds, 5 minutes, hours, days. After waiting for 5 seconds in our case, we will will check if the status is succeeded. So if I run that, let me disable that. We know that it is already succeeded. So let's test that, and it will come back as succeeded. And you can see here that it is going through you can see the true branch is the green branch. That means that it is true. And if that is the case, we can actually confidently get the results. And this will be the URL to get the items from any actor. The actor runs and the actor ID and /dataset items. If you issue a GET request to that URL, you will get the results of it. Let me just run it. And now you have this data here. You have the input URL, hashtags, caption, shortcode, type video, and the comments, the images. And we are interested in this video URL. This is the URL that we are going to use to download the video. So if you manually take that video URL, copy that. If I copy that video URL and paste that into my browser,
I swear you have never thought to.
that is a video. And we are using a set field, which is an edit fields node, set node. It has a bunch of data that comes from that get results. We are setting that response into a variable called reels, so that we can split out each creator Instagram handle may have multiple reels, but it will be all in one big JSON. So we want to split those out. If it comes back with, let's say, 5 reels, we want to split those out into 5 items so that we can loop over each of those items and get the video, transcribe it, and repurpose it. So that is why we are setting that to reels. For readability purposes, we have a split out node. We are using that variable name to split the JSON, the one big JSON, into multiple reels. We have 20 items, 10 per Instagram handle. We have 2 big JSONs, 1 per Instagram user. Now we can loop over that. Once you loop over that, in the first item in the loop is another read by ID node, which is a Google Sheet node. We are using in the split out, we have this shortcode ID here. This is the unique identifier for our video. And we are using that so that we don't want any duplicates to be added to our Google Sheet, and we don't want to be repurposing the same reels. So this is here to check for duplicates. What it does is it uses your Google Sheets account credentials, and it is a get rows operation, and you select the content calendar sheet that you want to read from, and you select sheet 1. That will be this first sheet here. So once it runs this, there will be a bunch of rows here which the ID corresponding to that shortcode of the reel, and we are matching on that ID, and we are saying return only the first matching row. If that is true, if there's a match in the Google Sheet, that will return one single row. And then we have an if node after that. Let's run that. So in the first run, there won't be anything. It will not come back with any output. Important thing here is that in the settings, you'll have to always check the always output data. Otherwise, if in the first run, it won't follow through the process because the workflow will fail there and stop it. So instead of stopping the entire workflow, we still want it to continue, but take into account that this is the first time that the reel is being repurposed. So we have an if node after that. Continue only if the record doesn't exist, if it is not already added. So we're adding an ID parameter. So if it exists, the ID will be there. If it doesn't exist, it will be red. It doesn't exist. And we are checking that ID does not exist. That is a condition that we are matching the if condition on. And if I test that step, it is true, which means that we did not find a matching item. And the next step in that case is to download the reel using that video URL. So in this case, it's an HTTP request and a get method, and we are using the video URL from the loop over items node, and that will be the video URL that we just got from the
I swear you have never.
And if I test that step, it will actually download the video, the media file. So now you can see that the video has been downloaded. You can download it or view it.
Swear you have
So that's the video. And the next node is an OpenAI Whisper node. So you add it here. We say OpenAI, or we say transcribe, and then you click on OpenAI. That's how you get that node over there. And what do we say in there? We're just using an OpenAI account. If you don't have already, create a new credentials and add your API key for OpenAI there. We are saying audio transcribe recording. This will be populated. There's a limit for 25 MB. If it is a bigger video, you'll have to extract the audio from the video and then just send the audio. If in our case it's a say whole video, this will still work with OpenAI. But if it's a long video, for example, a whole YouTube video, it won't work. You'll have to extract the audio and then send it over. So that is that step. And then if I test, that will still have to run because you can't really pin the binary data. Now it's downloading again. Now it is transcribing it. We should get a result very soon. This one is actually a very small file, 6.59 MB. So we have the transcribed text here. Swear you have never thought to use ChatGPT in this way before. Let me just pin it and disable this so that it does not download it again for saving time. And then the next node, it's a qualification node. You can think of it as a way to qualify the content that is being repurposed. So we don't want every content to be repurposed. We want to take the content from any channel, any Instagram account that aligns with our account goals and our content. So here is simply a set node. It's just setting our intent into a variable. The intent is to build authority talking about AI tools, AI news, and ultimately sell products and courses related to this space. To bring people into a paid community that teaches about AI agents, vibe coding, etc. I'm just describing my own community. If you want, you can check it out. It's called AI Makers. It's a brand new community. We are setting that into an intent variable. And now we have an AI agent. This is a advanced AI agent. The prompt for this, let's rename that to real repurposing. This doesn't matter. This doesn't affect the functionality at all. It's just a name. And you select define below. And you make sure you click on expression. Repurpose this content. That's the user message. The system message is here again. You click on expression and the JSON intent will be this intent. Test that step. Now it's repurposing it. So this will be the evaluated prompt. You are a social media manager tasked with repurposing content in alignment with the intent. You'll repurpose after qualifying or disqualifying the content. Output with repurposed content if suitable, or just say not suitable in the output. When repurposing, maintain the same tone and length. You must not lose any information. Humanize the text and then don't use jargon. If the content discusses a tool, a website, or resource, add a comment in a specific phrase. For example, comment leads to get. This is just an example. Use the context of the content being repurposed to add this CTA to the repurposed content, if that makes sense. It's not the best English right there, but let's see what the output is. Have you ever thought about using ChatGPT like this? So that the last part is to add this CTA over here. Comment tips to get exclusive access. You will have to tweak. So many people just try to use the template after downloading as it is. It will work, but you will have to tweak certain parts of the prompt just to get it to liking. Next, we have an if node. So the JSON output, if it is not suitable, then go to the next node. Otherwise, it will be false and will stop there. That false, we have to connect back to the loop here. Then I will continue with the loop. Save that. You just pin this, and then the next one is a write to Google Sheet node. It's a Google Sheet node, and then you select append or update row. This can be just append because we already have a check for duplicates. But anyway, in case we have matching on the column ID again, test the step, so you will have a better understanding of what is coming through. So the output is really the repurposed script content, and we are using the ID of the reel that we downloaded. This is an Instagram content ID, and the post will be the repurposed JSON output from our if node, and the platform is Instagram. I'm just giving it repurposed Instagram just to distinguish which strategy led to that specific content, just in case if I want to differentiate between the sources of the content in the future. And the sources, we are giving it as the original video content from our competition. So now it must be written. If you check the Google Sheet, you will have the ID, the post, rewritten content, and the platform, sources, etc. So if you allow that to finish, all the 20 reels will be added to that Google Sheet. Let me just pin these and and I'm going to allow the loop to finish. Test workflow. So as you can see, the second one, all right, it's going false a while because I forgot to enable the HTTP. I forgot to enable this. No, let's do that again. Test workflow. So it'll take a while for all of those 20 reels. The loop is now finished. I had to refresh the page because my local installation hung on me. Now we have 20 new repurposed scripts. If TikTok and Interstellar are combined, you'd get UI TARS, an AI agent manages your computer, including desktop, mobile, and web apps. So that's all the repurposed content here. You can go through these scripts. You can set the published status as approved manually once you go through these, and set the short form video link manually here, or you can have your chat review system do that for you when you are out and about, and it will send content for review and approval. So let's do the first part. I have covered this in detail in my social media content factory, a previous video. So this is merely a schedule trigger, and then it reads the next row, return only first matching row, which has an empty published status value, and the platform is repurposed Instagram. If I run that, it will pick up the next one that needs to be reviewed. In our case, why isn't it returning anything? Let's debug that quickly. The published status is platform is repurposed Instagram. I think that is like that, a dash, not an underscore. So that was the, I've been playing around with it, so I hadn't updated that yet. And now you get the thing. Let's start from the beginning. Now I should get to my Telegram a message. Here's the post. Have you ever thought about using ChatGPT like this? I'm just going to reply to that. New lines for easy read. This will come to my phone. And now this has to be active because we are in test mode. I'm just going to manually run it. It will then repurpose. So now it has added a bunch of new lines and has given me the script again with new lines added. If I go back to the content calendar, it is updated here as well. This is Telegram notes here. If you go here, that is a Telegram note here. This is a Telegram trigger. So if you go here, add another trigger, you will have a Telegram trigger here. This is another agent. Again, the prompt for this is available on our community. You can see the prompt here. If I go to the social media agent, you can see the revision agent prompt here towards the end. Reels agent, there's the revision agent prompt here. In the community, we have under social media agent. Now, if I again test this and I say I approve, then it'll be marked as approved, and the content here is marked as approved. Oh, there is an error using to match. So the error there is that it's not marked as approved. I will have to tweak the prompt a little bit. Maybe use a better model. All correspondence to user using send user message tool must contain the raw number and the content ID from content ID. Look up these records later. The prompt doesn't have to be complicated at all. Once the content is marked as approved, there's another workflow down here. And when that executes, that also runs on a schedule. And if that runs, it will send me another message saying record a video using the script for repurposed Instagram for raw number. So here's the post. And I might record this on my phone and upload to a Google Drive. We'll take the link for the uploaded video, and I may say something like this. I just filmed it. Here is the video link, and that will get the revision agent when run will pick that up and update our content calendar. So that was this video, the last reviewed one, and once that is done, the status will change to video uploaded. And the next part is the publishing part. So to set up this credentials for everything, you can just ask ChatGPT or go to all the credential setup is in our AI makers community. We have a detailed permissions list and the steps to do for each Facebook credentials, LinkedIn, X. I think there is Instagram Reels credentials which uses Facebook credentials as well. All that is in our community. And then this, it has two trigger points. One is I can immediately through my Telegram agent, I can just say publish this to, again, I have to reply to that instead of sending the context. So I'll just say, can you publish this to IG instantly? Run that workflow again. It should call the publish reel tool. And that is this trigger here when executed by another workflow, this one right here. And you select the same and you will accept a short form video link, a caption, a description, ID, a raw number, which will be filled in by the model when you call. Does this not here under the revision agent call an n8n workflow node. So that is this call n8 workflow tool. In this case, it failed for some reason. If we go to the logs, what happened there? Output, I think it's just my flow just hung for some reason. So just do that again. Reply, publish to now. Invalid Google Drive share link. For some reason, it's not passing the Google Drive share link. So I'm going to explicitly say this is the Google Drive share link. Try that once more. Reply. I have to save this. That looks like it is working. We'll be able to see once it finishes my Instagram. This is a random video I downloaded from Pexels. Let me show you how this publishing process works. I have covered this in my previous social media content factory video, but let me show you quickly again. I'm not going to walk you through how to set up all the credentials, etc. I'll just show you how it works. So if I test this workflow, it will pick up video from my content calendar. And what it does is it takes this Drive URL and converts that into a direct link, so that it can directly access the new video, because the Drive URL has a bunch of elements around it. So it's not the actual video. So it's now publishing to Instagram 51 seconds ago. That is our reel published over there. And once it is published, the status will be published reel to Instagram. So that's the entire workflow. And again, check out my Gumroad for these templates. There's a bunch of templates that you can use for social media, lead generation, SEO article form, long for SEO article writers, POV video creation. So check out our AI makers community over here. We are doing all the workflow tutorials, building several AI agents, lead generation, SEO, anything to do with digital marketing and lead generation, how to get clients, all those automations. A lot more automations are coming there. So if you want to learn how to create these AI agents and be up to date with the latest and greatest in the AI space, join this cool community.